Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting date were posted online, published in the Hunterdon County Democrat and the Easton Express Times on October 15th, 2020, and posted on the door at Borough Hall. Action may now be taken. Please join me in the flag salute. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation
under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Columbus.
Here.
Barry.
Here.
Hughes.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
Strange.
Here.
Zappa.
Here.
Lee.
Here. Motion to dispense with the reading of the October 22nd, 2020 regular minutes.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus.
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
Motion to approve the October 22nd, 2020 regular minutes.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Columbus.
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strange.
Abstain.
And Zappa.
Yes.
Motion to dispense with the reading of the November 9th, 2020 regular minutes.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus.
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
Motion to approve the November 9th, 2020 regular minutes.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus.
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Abstain.
Strange.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
Okay, on to public comments. It is the policy of the Borough Council that all public comments on an issue shall be limited to 5 minutes per person, and no person may make more than one comment per subject. Comments may be made on any subject pertaining to borough issues. Comments pertaining to public hearings should be saved for that section of the agenda. No debating between residents. Comments should be addressed to mayor and council at the public microphone. Any public comments?
If you hover over your name as an attendee, you can select to put your hand up, and that's how we'll know that you will have public comments. I don't see any call-in. Oh, I see. Councilperson Chris Zappa has a comment here.
I would like to congratulate Councilperson Barry and the Councilperson-elect Alan Schwartz on their run for council. Natalie, thank you for stepping up again and continuing on council. And Alan, if you're listening, for throwing your hat in the ring and coming on board. I think it's going to be a great council.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Congratulations.
Say that later. You stole it.
What a pain.
I know. I agree. Congratulations. It takes courage to put your hat in the ring. So,
Okay.
any other public comments?
I don't see any more, Mayor.
Okay. On to the public hearings. Ordinance 2020-047, acceptance of easement. Motion to open the public hearing.
Move.
Second?
Roll call.
Columbus.
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll just provide a little background on this. I'm not sure that we really talked about it much at the last meeting, but this is the section of the Greenway Trail that essentially cuts from Union Forge Park through to Solitude Village. And normally it has been under the jurisdiction of the Union Forge Heritage Association, who has cared for it and loved it and protected it for many years. due to the increased traffic that we saw at Lake Solitude over this past summer. We discussed Highbridge really taking over responsibility for this section of the trail so we can open and close it as necessary. We'll put it on our own insurance, and we'll work very closely with Union Forge and Custom Alloy to make sure that we're all in sync with, the traffic, that it's protected, that it's being monitored, that it's being maintained and loved and cared for as much as the Union Forge Heritage Association has done all these years. So that's it in a nutshell. And with that, I'll open it up to any public comments on that issue.
I would just like to, in case anyone out there is wondering, it is the land, of course, still belongs to Custom Alloy. The easement is just being transferred over to us to take care of. We're not buying the land from them or anything like that. So, it's still their property, but the easement's shifted.
Okay, I don't see any hands up there.
Okay. Motion to close the public hearing for ordinance 2020-047.
Move.
Second?
Roll call.
Columbus,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Grange,
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
Motion to adopt ordinance 2020-047.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Grange,
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
Okay, on to the consent agenda. Resolution 235-2020 through resolution 250-2020. Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Unless anybody wants to post
Unless
something.
anyone wants to
I'd actually like
put
to
something
pull 239.
out. Anyone else?
We have a motion, there's a second.
Second.
Okay, so motion to approve consent agenda resolution 235 through 238 and 240 through 250.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Okay, Columbus,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Grange,
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm glad this was pulled out. In hindsight, we probably should have added this as a discussion item ahead of the consent agenda, but just to provide some background, which I think is really important. And especially since this council meeting is via Zoom and recorded, I think it's really important for everyone to know that we are fully, I think, as a borough, fully in support of all these trails that we have, these mountain biking trails. It recently came to our attention that we never officially received permission to have mountain biking trails over at the Nassau Trail section from the DEP. So it was an exchange of property that we accepted some funding for, and part of the deed was that we would not have mountain biking on there. When we went to work with the DEP to talk about getting mountain biking, long story short, we never actually got the formal written authorization for mountain biking, even though we had gotten that authorization for other areas of Highbridge. So I think, it's an unfortunate, it kind of fell through the cracks. But we are closely working with DEP to obtain this authorization. We're also closely working with the residents that have, brought this to our attention because they've been inconvenienced or they just don't approve of these trails so close to their homes. So in an effort to try to resolve this in the short term over something that's probably going to take a longer term, to resolve with the DEP, we're looking to enforce some park hours here. And so we can enforce the area. We're going to temporarily at least close off at least one portion of the trail so it, kind of eliminates some of the nuisance factor to the increased traffic that we're seeing on the mountain biking trails, which again, is a good thing for Highbridge. We're getting the word out. We're increasing, the popularity of our trails and bringing people into the borough that maybe we didn't have before, but we need to resolve this. And like anything in government, it's going to take a little bit of time. So, the resolution on the table tonight, long story short, which is too late for that, but we're adding some hours and, we're talking about at least closing a portion of the trail for now. And we're going to start working a little bit more closely with our Environmental Commission and the Open Space Commission to put a plan together and also with the Township of Clinton, put a plan together that makes sense to the DEP. So everyone is happy, I think, in the long run. Steve?
Well, I was simply going to point out that the name of the trail is that's being closed. That stretches the Greenway Loop. Just for clarity on the maps that are out there and stuff, just the Springside Loop is a different section. So we should alter that name just so the bikers know which one we're talking about was the first thing I wanted to identify. That's the name that's been accepted, I think. Originally,
is it known by both names?
Originally, the entire area was a very long, extended loop referred to as the Springside, Trail or Springside Loop. It has since then obviously been altered, and the original square trail that comes right off of the field, which is the trail at issue, has kind of become known as the Greenway Loop. So I just we could put Greenway Loop / Springside Trail just to be clear. Just to make sure that people know which trail we're referring to.
Yeah, we have it on a map. And I think we, in meeting with the resident and talking with the Mayor Higgins, we know the trail itself, the section of the trail that we're all talking about. And as I understand it from you and one of the trail people over the weekend, is this was pretty easy to close, and it makes sense. Whatever it's called, I think we still need to meet with the Environmental Commission and really talk about what the long-term goal for this section would be, because it's close to this person's property. And as I understand it, there may be a couple other residents that would prefer not to have all the mountain bikers in their backyard. So I think that's just a step one.
Right.
David, are you offering a motion to amend this, maybe to say also known as or something like that? So that
I was thinking that might be worth adding to it, yes, to amend it.
No, I would like to suggest, if you don't mind, that before we do anything like that there is a committee that goes up to the trail and discusses this specific area and, is in complete agreement with what it's called, because I've seen different maps, and I want to make sure that nobody gets, we have it right. That's all there is. Whatever you want to call it, it's a section of the trail that can easily be sealed off for mountain biking specifically, and there may be others, but let's have a committee get together and walk the area and make that determination. For this resolution tonight, we all know it's pretty clear, and it's identified on a map that was posted on the Nassau Trail page, Facebook page, which areas. Call it whatever you want, but we all know what section it is.
See, we have from dusk to dawn on there. I was just curious as to why we're limiting the hours on the trail there. Not, in winter hours here, it gets dark 4:30. Most people aren't biking. They get out of work, and some bikers want to get out there, at night. We'll call it at night at 5 o'clock now, but it kind of puts an impact on the bikers trying to get out there. I feel like, if you have the gear and you can go out with your headlamp on your bike and get on the trail, why limit them to that dusk till dawn?
I certainly appreciate that, but the fact is that many county and municipal parks are only open dusk till dawn. And you add the fact that Highbridge right now, for better or for worse, is 100% liable for anything happens at this trail. And quite frankly, mountain biking, as it's stated, is not a permitted activity. So we really need to, be in line with what the DEP is saying as much as possible right now. God forbid something happened, Highbridge is liable. And we need a way to enforce these restrictions. And until we get, this resolved with the DEP, we have to handle it this way.
So to be correct, is it just
the
one?
area at question is the area on I will say the other side of Nassau Road, the land taken from Claudia Wedmore, which includes I don't know if you want to, but the area between Wilson Avenue and Nassau would be a good way to define it. I don't believe there is any question about the trails that are within Nassau Road, Highland, and River Road. That section there, and which is also separate and not contiguous with Clinton Township. It might be worth having the Clinton Township touching trails maybe have rules that align with Clinton Township, whereas the Nassau trails alone, that section, align only with Highbridge because it's not connected to Clinton Township in any way.
Mayor Higgins and I have spoken, and they're going to pretty much follow our lead on this for right now. And quite frankly, in reading this deed of conservation, we discovered there are a number of issues that we're not in compliance with. Just looking at it purely from what's in the deed of conservation that was drawn up in 2002. So we need to address the immediate legal matter that we're out of compliance, and we could be facing a lawsuit right now. So it's, in my eyes, we just need to do what we can to get this resolved. I am very confident that the DEP is going to allow mountain biking to continue here. I really feel strongly, and I'm, again, 100% in support of mountain biking trails here. But we have to take this seriously because there are people that are unhappy, and they're going to keep pushing this issue until we get this resolved legally.
I understand that. I will say that I find it frustrating that two people have expressed, a couple have expressed their frustration. They've expressed it in a letter that's full of inaccuracies. And those two people have also sent letters around to their neighbors that are full of inaccuracies. I've received 3 or 4 letters from residents that are not full of inaccuracies that are in favor of it. So I agree that we want to be aligned correct and we want to go by the DEP, absolutely. And if we need to close down that area for the moment, that makes perfect sense. I agree. I guess I wanted to make sure it was said that we have one person that's been trying to shut down access to that land since it was purchased in 2002 and seems to just want to have it to themselves and seems to have a lot of time on their hand to go out and try to figure out ways to cause problems. And
we're not in compliance, Steve.
And I understand that.
I hear what you're saying, but this is a tax-paying resident that
of a different town.
Pointing
Yes.
out the fact, and the trails. You have to agree the trails were not as popular back in 2005, for instance, that they are today. And maybe it's not just one resident. Maybe it's a few. It doesn't really matter. The fact is that we're not in compliance. We have people that are complaining about it that are going to continue to push the issue, if in fact probably take it to the courts, and we don't have a leg to stand on. So in an effort to try to make as many people happy as we can, and I understand not everyone's going to be happy, we're just going to put in some hours. It's going to be cold. I mean, it's not going to be the easiest thing to enforce when it comes right down to it. So we're nitpicking something when in reality, we're just trying to protect the borough. And that includes everyone in the borough. Because if you read the deed, we are 100% on the hook if the DEP comes back and says that this is not a permitted activity. We have to replant everything. We have to make it back to the way it was. We have to pay legal fees. We have to pay administration fees. We have to pay potentially, equipment and I mean, it just, the list goes on. So, it's silly to even be worried about sundown to sunset when in reality that's the case among many, many parks in our area.
Well, and I understand that, but also I don't think the sundown to sunset is a component of the deed restriction. What other areas of the deed restriction are we in violation of other than
No mountain biking. No
And how do
mountain
they,
biking.
how do they define
That's all you
mountain
need to know.
biking? No,
You're not supposed to have cleared vegetation. No mountain biking.
okay, but
And then
hold on
the
a
other
second.
funny
It's-
thing, and again, I'm just trying to make humor of this, but it's also, horseback riding is an allowed activity in these trails, and Clinton Township specifically restricts horseback riding. So we need to get in sync. Per the deed, there needs to be a coordination of efforts to protect this area between the High Bridge and the Township of Clinton, and we are not doing that. So we need to correct this. We need to correct it now before it gets more crowded. We need to try to keep the people that have been enjoying these trails, whether they're hiking or mountain biking or just, whatever they're doing, as long as it's not motorized. And we need to keep the residents happy that maybe this backs up to their property and maybe they're fine with it. But maybe 5 years from now, they want to sell their home and the people that want to buy it are not okay with it. So,
Well, and I'm not sure that, quite frankly, is a concern of ours. It backs up to my home, and it backs up to all my neighbors' homes. And so, that's
are you going to keep your home forever?
probably until I die.
Okay, well, what if
But
the next mayor
after that,
decides
someone else
there
have to
could
deal with it.
be, all-terrain vehicles back there? There are plenty of people that were pissed off that, there are plenty of people that were not happy that, hunting was eliminated in certain areas. There are plenty of people that aren't happy with the commons flow trails running through their backyard. We have to consider this. It's unfortunate that I feel that, and I'm just being honest here, that, a certain group has been able to just kind of push forward with these ideas and not, having all their ducks in a row. And I'll use the, Commons Trail and the issue with New Jersey Transit, and I'll certainly use Nassau Trail and the fact that we didn't have this authorization. Now, you could say it was in between administrations. You can say whatever you want. The fact of the matter is we're not in compliance. So, does anybody else have anything to add to this conversation?
I just have to note, is it just one section of the trail that we're talking about here, or is it because you say the whole Nassau Trail, or is it just one section that we can eliminate and, bypass to?
Yeah. So if you read
allow
the
people to ride?
resolution, there is specifically one section of the trail that we're looking to bypass immediately. But we're also looking to turn this over to the Environmental Commission to take a look at other areas of the trail that might be too close to people's homes. We believe, and we've spoken, Clinton Township and myself, about a 150 to 200 foot barrier between any active trail and any residents. There's not a lot of homes that, fully back up that close. And I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue, but if it's that easy to fix, why don't we just do it? It'll keep the DEP happy and it'll keep our residents happy.
The only reason I was asking is why shut down the whole entire thing? Why not, or not shut it down, but why limit the entire Nassau Trail instead of just saying, that section? I don't know if we can do that or not, but I think
It's not. The trail's going to still be open. We're just putting park hours. I think that's a way of monitoring who's using the trail.
So yeah, again, I just look out for those people that are trying to get an early ride or elite ride in, because at the end of the day, we all pay taxes in this town, and it should be able to utilize some of the areas that are not affected by the, this DP issue that's going on right now.
Well, we'll revisit it when we get a formal written authorization from DEP.
So the whole closure, I was just saying, why not just limit that one trail?
Well, I think that's
That's all
what
we're
we're
doing.
shutting down that trail and altering park hours for the whole system. Those are the two things happening.
Park hours make sense. There's many parks that have the same type hours.
Right.
I certainly agree that there are. Generally,
Many
it's,
county parks in the area.
I feel like
but the rest
6
of our
a.m.
town parks do not have that time period.
I feel like 6 a.m. Some people might want to get out there at 5 a.m. before work too. I was one of those people that got up early and got out and went on a trail or did something. That I just think that I think 5, in my personal opinion, 5 to 11 would be.
At the end of the day, we're not going to have our police department stationed at Nassau Trail. we're going to have park hours that will be posted. And, if people feel that they are the parks these trails are marked closed frequently because of rain.
Right.
And anytime you will see many cars. So, we all know people are going to do what they're going to do. This is a way to enforce something if something were to happen. Again, we could keep talking about it, but I think the park hours make good sense. I think, alleviating an immediate situation with this particular section of the trail makes sense. And I think the fact that we're going to, take this over as a municipality, take over the responsibility of developing a plan and working with the DEP in Highbridge to ensure that we'll be able to long-term continue to use these trails, for multi-use. It's in everyone's benefit. So we're arguing over hours right now, but in reality, we're just trying to get through this short term until we can get everything formalized with the DEP first and foremost and avoid any kind of lawsuits that we might be looking at.
I just don't get the dust till dawn. I'm sorry.
I just think at times
move on because we're just gonna
5 to 6 or something.
I don't think anybody is. Does anybody other than George or Steve have anything to add or?
Well,
question?
this is a resolution anyhow, so it ends at the end of the year, and we have to look at it again in January. So we're talking like a month.
Right, and aren't there plenty of other places people can ride that don't have the dusk to dawn issue?
Well, I mean, like anything, some people really want to ride close to home, especially if they do it after work. They prefer not to drive an hour and a half to somewhere else after work to ride.
Well, what about the
we would like to
Columbia
attract
Trail? Is
people to our
that
town.
the Columbia Trail? Is that dusk to dawn?
Yeah, our Commons flow trails are still open. They can go to the Commons
That's a
flow
good point.
trails.
That's a very good point. That's close to town as well.
Now, is the common flow trail, is that from 6 to 11? Is that what that would fall into?
I'm not sure, what
Yes,
those
that would
hours
still
are
be
right
6 to
now,
11.
but I mean,
Yeah, they're still on there as a part of the comments.
Is 5 a.m. too big an ask for that one, or am I out of line there?
no, sunrise to sunset, we're consistent with many other parks. And I mean, come on, we're arguing.
Michelle, I understand that it's consistent with many other parks, but and I don't necessarily have a problem with it because I agree it's short term. We're just trying to figure this out. But you said that a couple of times. I don't agree with that policy in a state park or a county park. Anyway, look at Voorhees Park. There's no reason that I should have to leave the park just because the sun is setting. Again, we all pay taxes to maintain these parks and have them controlled and all that and all those things.
Again, nobody's kicking you out either. So we're
No. I'm talking about a county and a state park. If I was in Voorhees State Park after sunset, you will be removed from the park.
if there's somebody there.
There are patrols in the park that'll tell you to leave. That's my point. Is that
this is just going down a path that just seems silly at this time. I think sundown to sunset is reasonable. Let's move this to a vote. If you guys really, it just seems an argument for the sake of arguing at this point. Honestly,
I don't think that's appropriate. I think that people have concerns about it. We have people that have donated hundreds of thousands of dollars of volunteer time to build value in our town, recreational value.
And they didn't have the proper authorization to do so.
Well, they
didn't.
Quite frankly,
they did. They didn't have, whoever gave the authorization didn't have the authorization to give it.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
they were given
Right.
It's been many years that has gone by. So
bicycling is considered a passive recreational
we're fighting
activity.
over the DEP. The deed is quite clear. So,
this land was purchased for the purpose of biking, hiking, horse.
no, it was not, Steve.
That's what Tom
No, it was
Walden
not.
was quoted as
Mountain
saying at the
biking is
council meeting when it was
specifically
approved.
Excluded. It's specifically excluded.
Right, but the council at that point in time did it for that purpose, and maybe they
It
screwed
wasn't
up
up
in
to the
checking the
council,
deed.
though.
But
It wasn't up to the council. Did you read the deed?
I have not seen the deed no, it hasn't been shared with me. I haven't seen it. So
You have shared it. You have seen it because I emailed it to everyone when it was received by me, and I read it, and it's quite clear.
okay.
It is clear.
It's crystal clear.
Yes.
No mountain biking.
It actually says those words.
It
And
actually
I've seen that
says
section,
no
absolutely.
mountain biking. Prohibited uses. Use of dirt bikes, mountain bikes, motorcycles, mopeds, 3 or 4 wheeled vehicles, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
It specifically says that, Steve. And then in the event of any violation of this deed of conservation restriction, grantee, which is currently the Raritan Headwaters Association, in its sole discretion and with or without notice, institute suit or take any other action it deems necessary to enjoin such violation, et cetera, including such costs shall, so Highbridge is on the hook for labor and other personnel costs. This means to put the whole thing back together. So the feedback I heard from the DEP so far is that we have a lot of trails. Now that's not to say we're not going to get to continue to use them, but we're on the hook to labor and other personnel costs, equipment and material costs, attorney and other professional fees, and court fees. So in your own words, with the hundreds of thousands of dollars of volunteer hours that we have spent on these trails, Highbridge is going to have to pay that back if we don't get permission from the DEP. Sunrise to sunset is not a hard ask for the next couple of months until we resolve this situation. Okay? That's it. It's silly. I'm all for the trails. I use them. I'm on the trails. I use them all the time. I've been on my mountain bike up back there. I love it. I'm fully supportive. I've shared it, I've put money behind these trails, okay, personally. So the argument that I'm somehow against them because I want to institute some hours as a measure to protect this borough.
I don't think I have argued at any point that I think you're against them. That's not. This is not about you.
And you're arguing against it. So let's move on.
Okay, well, I think it's a stretch to say that this is about you. I'm not arguing against you.
It's not about me. This is about Highbridge and protecting this borough against what is in print. It's a legal document. Barry, would you like to add something to this?
Mayor, I think you explained it very well. Unless we have DEP approval for this, which we do not at this point, certainly, we have to limit the use of these trails. Because the borough could be on the hook, as you pointed out, Mayor, for significant amounts of money. The deed is what it is. And we have to, this has now been discovered. It's been pointed out to us. We're on notice of it. And so we certainly have to, limit the use of the trails at this point.
And proactively trying to work with the parties to resolve it amicably. So, again, let's just move beyond this and continue to do what we're doing, which you guys being you and another member of the trail group have already moved forward with blocking this portion of the trail, which went a long way. But we need to keep it going and keep what we're doing. And then we can have this conversation again once we get this written authorization from the DEP.
It just stinks that we're looking at dusk right now. It's like 4:30. So it's unfortunate that it's written like that. So it kind of stinks. People don't get out of work till it's dark sometimes.
Okay, so are we ready to move this to a vote? Unless anybody else has anything to add? Okay. Motion to approve resolution 239-2020.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus.
I'll say yes, but I don't agree on the hours at all. I think they're lousy. But.
Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes. Oh, that's fine.
Zappa.
Yep. Yes.
Okay. On to council committee assignments. Councilman Zappa, you're up.
Thank you. Okay, so in engineering and road work, streetscape is all but done. There's just a couple little punch items that need to get done. It should be done very shortly. We're going to be doing a little bit of road work in the next couple of weeks. The area of Mine Road, from Mine Road over to Seal Street, is going to be resurfaced, milled and resurfaced. Dewey Ave between Berrywood and Michael Ave is going to be resurfaced, which is very much in need of being done. And also Mountain Avenue from Seal to Church. There, since we're going to be working over on Mine Road, we had, some more money to spend, and, it makes it easy since the construction company will be mobilized in the area. We still have, the bids are due on November 24th. Well 8, which we've been working to get a generator pad there, is about, is going to be installed soon. The generator will be installed soon. So they're going to be meeting with contractors and engineers next week to get that in the works. With DPW, so the big thing with DPW right now is leaves. They're every day cleaning leaves. Seems to be going pretty well. They're like to just point out that once they go by your street, they won't be back again until the next round. So don't, if you happen to miss the truck, you didn't get your leaves out, you don't have to call Borough Hall or call DPW. They'll be around again, but it's not going to be around until they get around the entire town again. Okay, they still have some leaf bags to go. There's less than 100 left. So if you want some, stop down at DPW and pick them up. If you've already had some, don't bother, because they're keeping a list of who has taken them, and they just want to make sure that every resident who wants to get some gets a chance. The street sweeper is once again out of service and in need of repairs for the sweeper motor. So we're getting some estimates on that. They're doing some work and repairs on our in-house equipment. Electronic waste recycling will be at the Commons on November 21st, which is also the last day that it's open for season. Let's see, with the DPW would also like me to remind everybody that to slow down when you're approaching a DPW truck or you see the flashing yellow lights. November 9th through the 15th is Move Over Week. Yellow flashing lights are meant to show caution ahead. We have a new hire on DPW staff. His name is Juan, and he started on Monday, and he brings with him some experience for working with a crew from New Jersey Department of Transportation and also Bridgewater Township DPW. The water system, some new water meters are still being installed. You can call or email DPW to get added to the list for a new water meter if you want, and could be more accurate than your current water meter. We had a water main break on Sunset in the past week. It was reported by a resident. So that was repaired by our own DPW. The Well 8 main control panel was replaced. The sewer system, there was a new pump installed today. The old one will be rebuilt, and we'll keep it as a spare for pump 1. Pump 2 estimate is being worked on to purchase a new pump. The old pump will be rebuilt, and this will give us 2 backups if needed. And please remember, do not flush wipes of any kind down the toilet. Even if they say they're flushable, they're not. They clog the system, they clog the pumps, so please just don't flush them. Washington Ave past the firehouse to Tisco will be closed in the next few weeks so that we can camera the sewer mains. Most likely a half a day. Notice will be sent out beforehand. Also, notice will be sent out to the residents in the area where the road work is going to be done, just for an advance notice that they're going to see that activity at their houses. That's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you, Chris. Councilman Hughes.
I just want to follow up with Chris, what he was mentioning about the e-waste recycling, just to remind people that it's not white goods, it's not free-on items like at our normal electronics recycling. It's strictly the TVs and laptops and computer type things, just to keep that in mind. The Environmental Commission is looking now, the streetscape has gone up with the nice new sidewalks to replace some of the old cigarette receptacles, the kind of plastic tubs that are cracked and falling apart and too big for Main Street, with this thin cylinder kind of ones, that metal ones that we have. So we're going to use some of our Clean Communities and grant money to take away the ugly ones and put the thinner ones in. And we're also looking to replace the planters. We had moved off the huge concrete ones that were really too large for our sidewalk, the size of our sidewalks, and moved them into the commons where they look wonderful. And now we're looking to get taller, thinner planters to go on Main Street. And we're hoping to spend our funds before the end of the year and get those in place, and maybe even in time for the holidays to get some trees, some little tiny pine trees in there and decorate enough for the holidays. So that's our goal. And Adam, I need to ask you, we originally had said that the rabies clinic was going to be November 14th. Is that still true?
Yes, that is still set up.
Because I did not see that on the calendar.
Okay, I will make sure that it is there.
And maybe something.
I know it's typically listed on the county site. They usually put out from there and they link to that. That's a big draw, but I'll make sure ours mirrors.
It's where our residents see it too, because I looked and I did not see it. So that's this
Okay.
Saturday, the 14th, 9 to 11 at the Squad Building, right?
Yes, that will be at the Squad Building.
Okay. That's all.
Councilwoman Moore, sorry. Thank you, Lynn.
All right, the refunding bond sale occurred on October 29th. The net savings is almost $1.2 million. An application for the CARES Act funding through the state was submitted for $19,080. And just for those who don't know, including myself, the CARES Act is the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Securities Act. Another Coronavirus Act grant through the county will be submitted next week for $5,000. The tax sale list is down to 11 parcels for $52,518. That's down from $134,243 when we started the list in September. And the budget requests for 2021s are being received and reviewed. That's all I have so far for now.
Thank you. Councilman Strange.
Well, to piggyback on Councilwoman Moore, we've just received the police and fire budgets, and I've had a chance to look very briefly at them. I can't say I've completely digested them yet, but I think that's the big thing that they're doing at the moment, as are the various departments. EMS, I know I got a note about the LoSAP thing as we're approaching, I guess, the end of the year, and we had the transition to South Branch Emergency Medical Services. I thought it was cool to see the request for fundraising for the new trucks come to my in the mail. It's like, oh, there it is. They're actually asking for money. That's official now. So that transition is just finishing up the last few little things in it. In terms of recreation, we've covered quite a bit of it there with the trails. There's also been a few minor issues with the playground that DPW has dealt with, some equipment, toy equipment type stuff that need to be touched up or fixed up for safety. And I'm not sure where we stand with in the past, typically rec has been involved in the Christmas tree lighting, but I don't know how that's going to play out as we go forward. So I think that we probably will not be involved in that this year. So I don't know, that'll have to be my report for this evening.
Councilwoman Ferry.
Okay. Congratulations to the Historical Committee, the New Jersey Historic Trust, an affiliate of the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs, on Thursday, October 29th, awarded the Borough of Highbridge $25,500 for the Historic Site Management Grants for Solitude House. And this grant will help fund preparation of a National Registry nomination for Solitude House, as well as the creation of strategic and maintenance plans for the property. The Historical Committee has been hard at work decorating the exterior of Solitude House for the residents and visitors to enjoy on their walks through the property. The committee is looking for decorations to either donate or loan to the committee, such as garland, lighting, timers for both exterior as well as indoor window candles. Contact me at events@highbridge.org to arrange drop-off or pickup of any donations or loans of decorations. And thank you to Historical Committee member David Gessling for hosting our first successful Zoom historical talk on the High Bridge incident, Howard Menger, and be on the lookout for more Zoom talks in the future. The Springside Committee had a successful volunteer meeting last weekend at Polka Dot Cafe, and keep an eye out on the events page for fundraising events. If interested in learning more about the committee, please email me at nferry@highbridge.org. And the events committee had a successful Halloween house decorating contest, which included 32 participants. And look for details on the events page on the borough webpage for Light Up High Bridge, a holiday house decorating contest. And thank you to the events committee for helping out set up our one and only socially distanced outdoor movie event last weekend at Union Forge Park. And thank you to the businesses and attendees for coming out and maintaining social distance and enjoying a great night together.
Good job.
Thanks, Natalie. Councilman Columbus.
Okay, golf. October numbers to budget. Rounds were up 106. We're still running 12-minute tee time intervals. Revenue was up 42,512. Expenses were over $2,384. EBITDA was up $40,181. That's for October. Year-to-date budget. Year-to-date to budget. Rounds were down 2,209. Revenue is up $14,510. It is also up $127,271 to the prior year. So it's pretty cool. Expenses are under $42,947. EBITDA is up $57,458 and $143,864 ahead of the prior year. November forecast, the revenue budget in November is $23,204. We had some great weather earlier this month. We've already beaten that number by $13,000 for November, so that's great. The weather for the rest of the month will dictate where we're going, for the rest of November. But it's getting cold now, so I think we're happy that we're 13,000 over. It's still a little early to forecast expenses it's too early to forecast expenses, but we should be able to get close to budget at this point for the year. So it's looking decent right now. So we get hopefully some more nice weather out there and make budget for the year. It's looking promising. They hosted the Hurricane Junior Golf Tour it was a rescheduled event due to COVID. It was on October 24th and 25th. 74 juniors from all over the East Coast attended, trying to earn college ranking points. The girls' low score was par at 70, and the boys' low score was 71. Very impressive. I will never hit that. And EDC held Music on Main on October 30th. It was a Friday. It featured 3 different musician stations on Main Street. Included Andy Frey, Brian Molnar, and Zach Rusek. The event was held from 2 to 4. Helped promote the businesses in our town before the cold weather hits with everything going on with COVID. Nice to get something outside, and I think it was a good hit, and hopefully we can do something again, maybe a couple times in 2021 or more. Who knows? Music on Main. Hopefully that continues. That's it for EDC. But on another note, I've seen I heard the grumblings on our services on communications, I guess, with internet services. And if people have any complaints or if they're looking to upgrade their services, give Comcast a call. Let them know. I know there's a couple providers, but Comcast has the higher speeds. But it's 1-800-XFINITY. That's 1-800-934-6489. It's important to call and log your service issues. It helps maintain our system in the town. So if there's an issue at your place, it could be issues at other places as well. But it's definitely important to call, much like when you lose your power. It's good to get it noted in their system. So that's all I have. And Nat, I have some Christmas lights. I will get to them and hand them off to you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bonnie, you're up.
Okay, as it was mentioned already, we were busy preparing to testify today for the court case, but it was canceled due to COVID. We've been working on the PBA contract negotiations, and that was completed, and the memorandum of agreement was approved this evening. We're expecting the bids in before the next council meeting for the garbage contract, then the West Main Street and River Road water main projects. There were some addendums that were issued for the garbage contract, so we're covering all our bases on what we're going to get for that. So we'll see how that works. We are busy preparing mailers for garbage stickers, but these will be the last garbage stickers that will be mailed because our new contract, we're getting away from the stickers. So in the November mailing that's going to be going out, you're only going to be getting enough stickers to cover you through the end of this contract, which would be for December and January. And also in that packet will be the landlord registration as usual and the dog license renewal forms. But we are going to be doing away with our mailer after this one. This will be the final mailer since we won't have stickers to go out in November anymore. So everybody will be needing to visit our website to pick up those landlord registration and dog license renewal forms, which are available electronically, or you can print them out and mail them in or drop them in the box out front. But this will be the last year that we're going to actually be mailing them out in November. So just so everybody is aware of that.
Bonnie, when did you say the contract would be ready? I'm sorry.
The garbage contract expires at the end of January.
Okay.
Is there any plan to attempt to make those landlord renewal and dog license renewal the process entirely online or no?
We don't. We're looking into making the dog license renewal one available electronically. We do have the landlord registration available online, and it's linked to the payment app also.
Oh, okay,
so,
good. I'm just okay.
And there will be a very clear letter in this last mailer that explains. Okay.
Yes. and a little extra information about brush and leaves as well.
Okay, good.
Okay.
I would just like to say with the garbage contract, since I won't be here to help with it or approve it.
Stop gloating.
No, while I agree the stickers have always been a source of contention amongst, a lot of residents because some people do actually run through them. There's other people who have stacks of them still, they save them. But the great thing that's always been about our garbage company that even though we're using the stickers is they'll take anything if you put enough stickers on. So it's always, literally there's, people who you could throw away old furniture or whatever that, other towns or other people I know, they have one day a year when they could put out large bulk items like that, or they have to get a special permit for pickup of large bulk items. So I just like to, when you're looking at the contracts, kind of keep that stuff in mind as well.
Yeah. I remember when it began, I had mixed feelings, but it kind of made sense when you looked at it logically. So, but we'll see. Maybe the new contract will be even better without him. Who knows?
Yeah.
But that is a good point to bring up.
We're looking at an option for doing the bulk pickup twice a year.
Yeah.
And we're also looking at keeping it the way it is now. So we're just going to balance, the costs and see what we can afford.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I understand. I just, make sure that you think of it. That's all.
Thanks, Bonnie. Okay, so I only have a few updates. As Bonnie mentioned, we spent a good amount of time working with our police officers on their PBA contract. We have a great group of guys. I think we came up with a good arrangement that, not that I was thinking anyone would leave, but that maintains the great guys that we have in the force. And they're, again, looking to hire an additional person to come up the ranks soon. 100 West Main, we continue to put some pressure on the owners there to move. It just seems to be a cursed court situation currently, but hopefully we, I don't know. I keep hoping for something, but it's not going away, and we keep adding to the fines every day. So hopefully something breaks there soon. Nassau Trails has been a very big issue over the last few weeks, so I think we're making the right steps to containing the situation, most importantly working with the DEP and getting ourselves in line with what we're supposed to be doing there, and in a way that keeps our environment safe and fun to use for everybody. We had a really nice Veterans Day celebration this past weekend. Bonnie, I need to email you the video of that along with the video that we did of the flags, the banners that we had made up. Well, not the borough in conjunction with it was almost entirely the American Legion Post 188. They put together a committee to identify some of our hometown heroes, and they put up these beautiful flags at the Veterans Park there, C.K. Hoffman Veteran Park, and they look awesome. And they did a really nice ceremony this weekend. So they socially distant. We streamed it online. We have to work on our traffic situation for next year, but it was really lovely. And I give so much thanks to having such a committed group of people working with us to recognize our veterans. And those flags will be up for, I want to say, did they say, Lynn, like another week?
A week.
And then they'll be taken down until about a week before Memorial Day. And I'm sure they'll keep adding to their list of hometown heroes as word gets out. So that was nice. And then, we have been working on a holiday light parade this year. We're not going to be able to do the Christmas tree lighting like we've done in years past. For those that don't know, Joe Dispenza, who started the whole Christmas tree lighting, is stepping down from the HPBA. But then this year, to make things a little bit more complicated with COVID, we want to discourage any gatherings. So we've been working, both Chief Bartman, myself, Nicole Poco, and Joe of the HPBA have been working on formalizing a holiday lighting parade like we did with the graduations that everyone loved, and that goes around town. So more to come on that. And lastly, in not so nice news, I just want to remind everybody that COVID is still here. I'm a data person, and so I check the county and the state dashboards every single day, and I look for updates. And the numbers in Hunterdon County are really rising. We're looking at the same type of increase or the same type of daily figures that we saw back in April of May this year. Highbridge, I would say, has had a jump in our numbers. We now have 42 confirmed cases here in Highbridge, which is up like 11 since the last time I mentioned it about 2 weeks ago. And there's more than 120 people at the hospital. So I just want to mention it to, just make sure that we're all staying safe. Wear a mask, wash your hands, know where your family is and who they're coming in contact with, and really just to protect ourselves and each other and check in on each other, okay? Hunterdon Healthcare has set up a new COVID hotline. That number is 908-788-6440. All the questions that you may have COVID related should really be directed to them, and just be safe. And that's all I have. So on to the second round of public comments, 5 minutes per person. I see we have Pablo raising his hand.
All right, Pablo.
All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Well, thank you again for the opportunity, and congratulations to Natalie and Alan for the win in the council. I just wanted to take this opportunity. I've been listening to the meeting today, and particularly I want to comment on the Nassau Trail situation. I understand that is a situation that has been addressed, and recognize there might have been some issues there that it looks like, with the proper steps taken forward now will be addressed. I do want to, however, clarify a few things that were said during the discussion earlier that I want to make sure does not change the public record on how these trails have progressed. I want to clarify that there hasn't been a single foot of trail being built, whether at Nassau Springs or the Commons, that has not been first presented to council and mayor and approved by council and mayor to move forward. Because I think it was mentioned that way at one point. I don't want anybody to get the idea that there's a rogue team of people out there building trails without permission from council or mayor, and that goes for both Highbridge as well as Clinton Township. Particularly on the Commons Trail in town, because I was personally involved in that from day one. I met with everybody, both in council, in the environmental committee before we moved forward with that, and personally have met and got authorization from the water authority here in Route 31 to make sure that the trails that were recommended and to move forward with were in alignment with the expectations and the deed. Because I don't want people now out there, because Michelle, you mentioned there's some people that may not be happy with trails in the backyard. I don't want people digging and wasting their time looking to see if there's ways to shut down those trails. We spent a lot of time organizing behind this, making sure it was done properly, that all the dots and I's were crossed. There may have been some oversight or things that were overlooked by people in the towns that we relied upon, making sure that all the things were done properly that now have come to surface. But I don't want that to be reflected on the people that have done this from the public side, from the volunteer side. We always followed all protocols and procedures and went with everybody that had to be involved in this process from day one. So I want to have that clear, because a lot of people have put on their own time and effort to make these things happen for the last number of years. And particularly this year with COVID, they have been a huge asset, not just for the businesses, with the people that come to town to partake in these trails and then help the business, but also people in town, kids in town that now have a place in their backyard to go and do recreational activities without having to go elsewhere when there's nothing else open. So in many ways, this has been a public service that, unfortunately, for this one individual right now in Nassau Trail who thinks that they own that whole area there, and now to their own benefit, I want to shut it down for everybody else. I want other trails to become questioned now, because I think that would be an injustice, not just to the work we've done with the council and the mayor and the other towns involved, but also people that have dedicated their time to make these things happen for everybody in the public to enjoy every time. And we take care of these trails, maintenance, and kept them up going for the entire time. The last thing I'll close is with the bike park and the dog park, which again came up as an issue and mentioned in that comment before. Again, we went through the process of getting confirmation from the town that we could do those things there, and it was later discovered, not because of us, because of something that was overlooked from the side in town. So I want to make sure that people don't think that there's this group of people out there just building trails and doing things in town without proper authorities being involved and giving approvals. That was my spiel.
Yeah, Pablo, I totally agree. I certainly didn't mean to imply that anyone was, forcing trails upon us. But in my experience, just the last couple of years, and with the dog park and now with Nassau, maybe we just need to take a little bit more time with some of these things, because we need to ensure that first and foremost, the borough is protected against any kind of liability. And just on face value, this is a pretty big issue. And I don't think it is just one person. I don't know. It's one person that brought it to my attention, but I've since learned there are other people. And I have, heard from various people that are for or against any situation. There's people that don't even like the mini park on Main Street. So, I mean, there's, you're not going to make people happy 100% of the time, but this is an issue that needs our immediate attention to correct. For the protection of the trails and for for everybody to be able to continue to use them. It's worth the, step back to make sure that we can keep moving forward. And I honestly think that it's coming up now because they're more popular than ever before because of COVID and everything else. So I agree 100% with what you're saying. I just need to take this important step back for right now to make sure that we can continue. And everything's, slow moving because people are furloughed and, a number of issues. But, I'm on your side. I'm on the side of Nassau Trail. I want to make it work. In my view, there's no reason we can't make it work and keep the residents that, back up to this trail happy too. So.
Okay, we're going to take Jeff.
Hi, my name is Jeff Oliver. I live at 52 Fine Road. I wanted to start out by thanking Mayor Lee and Councilman Strange in particular and the council as a whole for continuing to work with the DEP and to resolve the issues that have come up. I think for those of us who have proposed, built, and continue to maintain the trail, that's everyone's top priority. I do want to echo Pablo's comments. I think the tone did sound a little different than it has in the past, and maybe that's just the way it came across. But it's definitely important to know that those of us who built the trail, we did that with the full support of mayor and council at the time. That said, those of us who did build and continue to maintain the trail, we do stand ready to do anything that we can to assist in the process with the DEP. We do support the recommendation to close the Greenway Trail to mountain biking as we've done, but to keep that available to hikers. We do understand that there are some neighbor residents, albeit from Clinton Township, who also butt up to that trail. And they deserve their privacy as well. So we respect that, and we fully support the closure of that trail to mountain biking. I think I could speak for the team in that. These things always, require some compromise. I think park hours is one of those. I do ride at night from time to time. I know many others do. I know there's going to be people disappointed over that. But if it helps with the DEP process, I can certainly support that, but I would be in favor of us reconsidering what would be appropriate hours other than dawn to dusk, assuming we get that change in the restrictions of use done with the DEP. As you can imagine, we were also very surprised to learn about any restrictions of use. We, of course, proposed the trails with detailed plans and a lot of input from the town council and environmental committee before we built them. And we did build those trails with full transparency and oversight of the town. And, we're confident that the town's doing everything it can and that the DEP will recognize the recreational value that the trails, bring to the town, as well as the diligence that we've given to the environment while building them. So once again, we appreciate all you guys' support and efforts, and anything we can do to help to resolve any issues with the DEP. We're happy to jump in and do that.
Thanks, Jeff. And just to clarify, full disclosure and transparency, I also want to make clear that we have a resolution and council meeting notes going back to 2013 that states that one of the former borough administrators obtained authorization from the DEP to proceed with these trails. What we don't have is the actual authorization. So I think that again, I do think that at some point this kind of fell through the cracks, but, we do have to protect ourselves. We have to protect the people that are using the trail and just get this straightened out. So I'm not trying to blame any, again, I want to make it very clear. I'm not trying to blame anybody, but it's an uncomfortable situation that we're all in right now that we need to resolve. So I'm fully committed to working with the DEP and with all the trail people and the Environmental Commission and Open Space Committee and everyone, just to make sure that this first and foremost works out the best for Highbridge. So, and Clinton Township will follow suit. And we're going to start working together a little bit more closely with them and get it a little bit more organized. And that, maybe it's not such a bad thing either. So. Any other public comments?
Let's see. I'm going to open up the phone line to see if we have any comments there. Are you good, Jeff?
Yes.
Okay. All right, 4809. I've asked you to unmute. Hello?
Hey, Adam?
Yes, hello.
Oh my gosh, it's me, Sally, up here in Solitude.
Hi. Do you have any 5-minute comments for us?
Well, yeah, kind of.
Okay.
I came in late to the meeting, so I apologize for that. So I've been listening to all kinds of emotive situations via the trail, etc. And what I heard most and foremost is the mayor's attempt to address situations that could impede the forward motion of Highbridge. And I think that she has made great effort to state that the benefits of Highbridge trails and Highbridge everything is foremost to council's attention. So, in my lack of formal words being perfectly accurate, I'm just saying, listen to the wisdom that stands by putting Highbridge Borough and our safety foremost. Period. That's it.
Goodbye.
Okay.
I hope I made that. I hope I was kind of clear. Maybe not so much, but I'm doing the best I can. Just saying, I believe that the council and Highbridge and the mayor are doing the best for our borough, and that is the most important thing. The people of our town, the people of our borough, are banking on you, the council, and you, our precious mayor, to do the right thing for all of us. And that's it. So simple, so kind, and so pure. That's it.
Thanks, Sally.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sally.
Thank you, Sally.
My blessings.
Any other comments? I don't see anything else, Mayor.
Okay, on to legal issues.
Everything I've been working on has been touched at some point during this meeting, Mayor. I have nothing else to add.
Okay, good. Communications, Adam.
We have the zoning report for October, the results of the refunding of the bond, the Indigo Golf Partners, which we touched on up in the other resolutions, the name change, and the Historic Trust Grant Award letter.
Okay. On to the bill list.
We have a total of $401,229.82.
Motion to approve the bill list.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Strange,
Yes.
and Zappa. And just one other note on the bill list. I'm going to have that same packet being passed around after the December meeting for everybody to sign, just so we can capture all your signatures for the bill list that way.
Okay.
Okay.
Just one note before we adjourn, because I realized I didn't say it during my comments. Again, congratulations to Natalie. Congratulations to Alan Schwartz. Thanks for running Michelle Hoffman. I'm really psyched for you guys that won, but I'm also excited for people that just step up, because it's not easy. And Chris, we're going to miss you most of all. I feel like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz right now, but we'll have one more meeting with you. But again, I just wanted to congratulate everyone and congratulate you too on your retirement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, motion, if there's no further business, motion to adjourn.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Strange,
Yes.
and Zappa.
Yes.
Next council meeting, December 10th, 7:30, Zoom. Be there or be square.
Take
Bye all.
Good night,
care, everybody.
everyone.
Stay safe.
Good night.
Good night.